Hi, Mike's Carburetor Parts here. I'm going to talk a little bit about how to identify which carburetor kit a Rochester B or BC or BV takes. Um, there's a lot of confusion with this carburetor, mainly because most of them are missing the tag. And originally, Rochester put a tag on these carburetors. They didn't stamp the number. A few have the number stamped, but very few. Anyway, this is a typical tag. Some were copper. This is a later model. If you have a tag like this, you got a number on here. This one's 7026000. That's it. That's golden. You take that number, you put it in our search box, click go, and it'll come up with the correct kit. Okay. This happens to be what I call a later model B. Actually, it's a BV, I think. Has a divorce choke. But at any rate, this is a later model. There's an early model. That's what I call, I don't know where the brake is, but typically you'll have a side inlet on this one. Not all of them are like this, just this one. And some of them have the air cleaner type like this. So that's a hint. However, I have more exact ways of figuring this out. We have three kits, okay? This is kind of an oddball kit, this 6116-1. It's only for a few of them, and so that these other two kits left out. These other two kits here, I got 1144, that's the late model, early model Rochester B, and we have 1141, that's for the late model. And as I mentioned, this is a typical late model here with the way the inlet is and the way this top is. The early model, most of them had the inlet towards the middle. Don't use that as a definitive guide though, because there's some exceptions to that. Anyway, so first thing I want to do is focus on early and late model. If you have an early model, your accelerator pump's going to have a flat stem on it. Now you're going to have to pull the top to figure this out. But you know, you're going to have to tear it apart anyway, and this way we only have to ship the kit one time. You know, do a little homework, and it'll make your life a little easier. Anyhow, so if you have a flat accelerator pump, you want this kit right here, number 1144. Okay, and there's the float bowl gasket. There's two of them. That's what they look like. Okay, so that narrows that one down. Now, if you have a round stem like this one, then it's going to be one of these two kits. It's going to be this 6116-1 or the 1141. Now, the reason this is the way these numbers are, these come from two different vendors, both American made, but this vendor does not make this kit, and it does cover some of the Rochester one barrels that these others just don't cover. So let's focus on this. Now, the majority of them will use this kit, the later model, and it comes with a replaceable accelerator pump cup. And what that means is Rochester later on, now see that here, back to the early, I don't want to mix you up, but this one is not replaceable. You have to replace the whole accelerator pump, and that's the way Rochester did them. Later on, they decided to use a replaceable cup like this one. This cup comes on, you slide a new cup on, and it allowed to make the tune-up kits a little bit cheaper, and simpler. Okay, we do carry these pumps separately, incidentally. All right, so if you have a round stem or you have a replaceable cup, then it's going to be one of these two. All right, like I say, about 95% of them can use this one here. There's a few that you're going to have to go to this kit, and I'll show you the differences. The pump is going to be the same. One difference is that this one, there's a few that use a thicker gasket between the throttle body and the float bowl. Okay, and where this kit, now when I say this gets real complicated. There is one thick one in both of them that are the same, but it also has this one with a little notch in it, just slightly different. And you see this kit there, it's a little thinner than that one. Now don't go buying this just because this is thicker, you think it's better. That's not the case. You need to put in what is supposed to have, okay? So if you happen to have one that looks like this and it's a thick one, then this is the kit over here you want, 6116-1. Okay? The other thing that I have found, let's see. Here it is. Okay. There's one other, kind of a minor point actually, but you could make this one here work. But the float bowl on this one, you see it has 2 holes right here, and on this kit here it only has 1. So if yours needs both holes, then you need this kit over here. And I believe, except for that hole, well, you know, actually the whole thing is slightly different. And it could be because of who makes them or something. Don't ask me why they don't include this one and this one. I don't know. This is the way it is. Okay, so anyway, you got the 2 holes, and you probably need this kit over here. So anyhow, I hope I didn't complicate your life, but we get a lot of calls on these Rochester 1 barrels from people that don't know which kit because they don't have a carburetor number. And the carburetor number is everything. You can't depend on the application because, I mean, my gosh, it's been 50, 60 years. The chances of you having the carburetor that came on the car brand new is probably pretty low percentage-wise. So, okay, so like I say, these 2 here, the 1144's early, 1141's a late. These are the most popular. You're probably going to fall into one of those, depending on whether you have the flat pump for the early type or the round stem pump for the late type with a replaceable cup. Okay? Now this one comes with accelerator pump. That doesn't mean anything. It's just that this company decided to do that instead of just giving you the cup. Okay? I hope that helps you figure out which one you need. Thank you for watching.